At Thanksgiving, while I was clearing plates, my mother turned to my brother and his wife and said, "After what Sloan already sent, she'll cover the rest so you don't have to cut anything." I was still holding the gravy boat. I never agreed to that. A week earlier, my mother had asked me to lend my brother Grant $18,000 for his kitchen renovation. The contractor had found required electrical and plumbing work behind the walls. Grant and his wife could cover that, but not all the upgrades they had planned. My mother knew I had spent years building a condo down payment. I was usually the flexible one, changing flights or covering small shortages so nobody had to argue. $18,000 was different. I said no. 2 days later, Grant texted asking if I could lend him a little. Years earlier, I had loaned him $900 for a car repair and he paid it back, so I sent him $4,000. I told him clearly that it was the whole amount I was willing to lend, not a first installment. He thanked me. My mother said she was glad I helped, then added that it would have been better if I had sent the full amount. A few days later, I found a condo I actually wanted. It was a quiet one-bedroom corner unit in Royal Oak for $312,000. A concrete column in the living room left a space just wide enough for my desk. My lender estimated I would need about $58,500 at closing. Before helping Grant, I had around $64,000 saved. After the loan, I had around $60,000. I could still make the numbers work, barely. If I gave Grant the remaining $14,000, I could not. My agent said there was other interest and offered to prepare an offer that evening. I hesitated. I did not need my mother's permission, but I wanted some sign that she had accepted where I stopped. She called almost every Sunday. If she called and did not mention Grant's kitchen, I told myself I would know the $4,000 had really been enough. That Sunday, she never called. My agent texted again. I still waited. The next morning, the seller had accepted another offer. I knew who had made that choice. Me. The numbers had worked, and I had still waited for my family to feel settled first. I flew home for Thanksgiving anyway. Most of the day felt normal. Dana thanked me for the $4,000 without asking for anything more. We ate and eventually started clearing the table. That was when my mother made the announcement. When I corrected her, she asked why I was turning a simple thing between siblings into a negotiation about money at Thanksgiving. "I'm not the one who brought money to this table," I said. Grant stayed quiet. Later, while he was leaving, I stopped him by the front door. "Why didn't you say something? You knew I never agreed." He set down the diaper bag. "I knew you never agreed to 18, he said, "but I was hoping you might still change your mind." I asked if he really thought I would hand over more because Mom had announced it like it was already decided. "I don't know," he said. "I just didn't want to close that door." That answer bothered me more than an argument would have. I had told them no, then softened it to $4,000. Grant had noticed the same thing my mother had. Sometimes I pushed back, then adjusted. The next morning, I sent the same message to my parents and Grant. The $4,000 was all I would lend. I would not send more, and no one should tell other people I had agreed to give money unless I had said so myself. Nobody replied. Grant and Dana revised the renovation. They kept the required work and cabinetry already ordered, but chose a cheaper countertop, scaled back the lighting and hardware, and left some upgrades for later. Grant did not ask me for more. My mother kept pushing. By mid-December, the kitchen was already being finished on the reduced plan, but she told me she did not want Christmas spent pretending everything was fine. To her, resolving it still meant me helping Grant finish the kitchen the way he originally wanted. I told her my answer had not changed. When it became clear she still saw my refusal as the thing standing between me and Christmas at home, I canceled my non-refundable flight. I mailed my parents their anniversary gift and sent presents for Grant's children. My father told me he understood, even though he wished I were coming. Grant eventually started repaying the $4,000. My mother's Sunday calls became shorter, then stopped after Christmas. By late October, I still had not bought a condo. One Saturday, I came home from the Royal Oak Farmers Market with eggs, apples, and carrots. I made room in the same cramped refrigerator, put everything away, and closed the door. The next day was Sunday. My phone was still on the counter. I didn't know whether it would ring.